Ravens fans, it's Monday Night Football. Tragically, there's no Hank Williams Jr. because ESPN is a bunch of sensitive people, but we'll not get on a political diatribe. We're here to talk about our Ravens. Kickoff is actually, I better get going. It's only about 2 hours away. So let's get right down to brass tacks. First and foremost, Jacksonville, believe it or not, they actually have a semi-decent defense. They're fared eighth against the pass this year, and the reason you don't really hear too much about them is the run defense tends to really not keep up to par with the pass defense. Rasheed Mathis, he's still a damn good cornerback, and going to get DeJuan Landry from your beloved Ravens. Some people say he's not really that missed. I'm kind of on the fence. You know, he had some days where he just seemed to be an all-star in the making, but he had other days where he disappeared. So that inconsistency, that probably led to his departure, but makes his home in Jacksonville now. So he is now, unfortunately, as we like to call the enemy. So Joe's going to have his hands full on the backside of the defense. If Mathis and Landry can, disguise their coverages and perhaps, show Joe some looks that he hasn't seen before, it could end up leading to a couple interceptions. They have the skill back there. But luckily for us, outside of Paul Posluszny, who was signed as a free agent linebacker from Buffalo, the defense really doesn't have too many named guys. You have some Clint Sessions from Indianapolis. He was brought in as a free agent, but he's kind of middle of the pack linebackers. No standout all-stars on this defense. So as long as the offensive line plays to at least their skill level or beyond what they're capable of, Flacco should have plenty of time to shred this defense apart. I see probably the second and third-ranked corners not being any close of a matchup for Laquan Williams and Torrey Smith. Really see big things from your passing game today. Flacco, I'd probably put him somewhere in the neighborhood of about 265 to 295. 3 scores, probably 1 pick. I'd put it at that. He's got the weapons, as we all keep saying, and he should have more time than not. There are a couple guys who might be able to give him some pressure, but outside of that, Flacco should have abundance of time in the pocket to just really set up the deep ball, as we've grown to throw quite a lot. I'd like to probably see Anquan Bolden involved a lot more in the red zone. But the big key for me offensively today, it's going to be Ed Dixon. He's got all the gifts, he's got all the talent, but he just drops way too many balls. He's got Braylon Edward hands. And if he can't get rid of that soon, might have to start seeing a lot more of Dennis Pitta, who has shown the ability to go up and get the ball. Just as good as Dixon is in my eyes. So hopefully he can make that next step and not have to end up becoming the number 2 guy. But look for your tight ends. A lot of 2 tight end sets in the red zone because I think they match up favorably against kind of a weak linebacking core. Posluszny's more of a rusher than he is an open field tackler, so I think that presents some really good matchups in regards to covering on the tight ends. And of course, you can't forget about our guy Ray Rice. I really think the running game is going to end up setting up the pass this week for a change, because we're not the type of team to use the pass to set up the run. You could see some frustration building in Ray last week. I think he felt he was better than what he was performing, and after the powwow he had with the coaches on the sidelines during play, I really feel as though this is going to be a week where he steps up, and he steps up big. He's got great ability on the outside. I really don't think they have the speed to keep up with him, and especially in the open field. He's going to make linebackers miss, and he's going to make them miss a lot. So I look for Ray to probably get anywhere between 20 to 28 rushes, at least 110 yards, 1 score, possibly a receiving touchdown as well. He's what makes the offense go. He's a rare breed, and honestly, he's a young, better, more put-together version of Maurice Jones-Drew. So I look for that to be a really good offensive output today. Defensively, I mean, what else can you say about our guys? The pass rush is there. The secondary is playing actually very well. They're vulnerable at times, but other than that, they're playing very steady. They're holding their own. Outside of MJD, really, Jacksonville does not bring many people to worry about. Mike Thomas, he is a good receiver, but he's more the possession kind of guy, like Anquan Bolden is. So our secondary should be able to keep up step for step with him. and we really shouldn't have to worry about anything going over our heads. Mike Sims-Walker was brought back from St. Louis. No big deal there. I mean, he can't stay healthy no matter what field he plays on. So I really don't see any chance really to give us any problems. The only thing I think we might have to worry about slightly is Mercedes Lewis. Became a Pro Bowl tight end for the first time in his young career last year. He's big, he's very powerful, and he's kind of a Jermichael Finley type from Green Bay. Depending on who's covering him, I think he could cause some mismatches, and I'd really look for him to kind of, keep us honest, but not to the point of where we're going to end up sacrificing what our game plan is, which will really be give Gabbert, the young rookie quarterback, give him some looks that he's not familiar with, keep constant pressure, constant blitzing, and make sure there's always a spy who can always account for Maurice Jones-Drew at any time, no matter what the play is. Because if they're going to try to beat us, they're going to use him a ton and then try to set up the play action and maybe try to take a shot downfield. But good news for our defense as well. Jimmy Smith, full participation in practice the last two days, and his look to set to dress this week. Don't know if he's going to get the start. I'd probably see him more or less in third and long scenarios, probably playing the nickel or the slot. But I pray he's not on special teams. I mean, I know people say, oh, well, that's how you know if a guy's ready to start, is he's being a good special teamer. Frankly, I don't care. If this guy's your number one draft pick and you're paying him a number one draft pick kind of money, you do not sacrifice him in the... It's the part of the game where most of the collisions take place. That's why the kickoff rule changed, and that's why we all hate kickoffs now, because nothing ever happens. But obviously something did happen because he ended up getting a high ankle sprain, and it's the first time we're going to see him since week 1. So hopefully we can just keep him on the field as an actual, a sub, maybe some certain packages, or just keep him in on coverage on long situations where they have 3 and 4 receivers on the field. Because the kid's got the gift. We just need to get his feet wet, get his football legs back underneath him, and he's going to be an awesome asset to this team. So, but now that I've kind of analyzed everything, it's time for my prediction. It's not going to be pretty if you're from Jacksonville, boys and girls. It's just not. They might be able to catch us napping once or twice this entire game, but outside of that, I look for this to be an absolute dominating performance. After the letdown this team suffered against Tennessee, Harbaugh will not allow this team to have another just trip up like we did against the Titans. So after quite a few touchdowns from JoJo and at a couple more rushing from Ray Rice, I look for this score to be somewhere in the neighborhood of, I'd say 34-10. Maybe I'd be willing to go as far as 42 to 14. I really see the Ravens just absolutely demolishing this team. It's an inferior opponent, and unlike against Tennessee, we will actually play to our level, not playing down to their level. Harbaugh will not let us mess up again. So we're on the road, hostile environment, but we're going to come out huge. So that being said, I got to go get ready because there's a Ravens game to watch, and I'm going to go hang out with my boys at Buffalo Wild Wings. Finger looking good. That being said, guys, enjoy the game. I'll be back later with my post-game analysis. And that being said, let's go Ravens. Let's bring a victory back home to Baltimore.